So I'm in Prospect Park today to do my last day of ice skating for the season. It's a nice, brisk 70 degrees. However, the rink has held up pretty nicely. The covered rink, that is. The uncovered rink is just slush, obviously. But the covered rink, since it has that cover, it like makes it a little cooler under there, and the ice has held up pretty nicely. So we're headed there. I'm gonna try and film some of my skills that I've been working on. If I can't, then I'll be putting in some clips from previous sessions. And if you can remember, all the way a couple months ago in my first video, I said that I was going to be working on my pre-free skate skills, which I did. I didn't get them down pat as I would have liked to for a variety of reasons. I didn't skate as much this season as I did last season. And I only figure skate during the winter time, so you know, I would have loved to skate more, but it just was not in the cards for this winter season. I don't want to lose all the progress that I've made so far this season, but trying to do ice skating and roller skating is a little hard for me, and especially since the only ice rink I can get to so far. But I'm gonna try. I do not want to start over from zero, but yeah, we're headed into the rink right now. Y'all, not for nothing, but why is the ice literally the best that it's been all season? Even this part, which gets really nasty because the sun can actually hit it, I'm like speechless. It has not been that nice all season, and it's perfect right now. So yeah, I'm excited. I don't think I'm gonna be able to film like my skills because while there's not a lot of people, the people that are here are skating a little fast and wild. So I'm just gonna put in some clips of what I've been working on all season, and yeah. A straightforward skill that I need to remember to bend like I am here, because when I don't, it's a hot mess, but these look good. This is another skill that I did not practice a lot, much like the C-steps that I just showed. I figured I know them. I know how to do a landing position. I do it all the time, but I do it all the time on my good side. I don't do it all the time on my less dominant side, which I definitely need more work on. I'm more shaky. My foot is a little bit more to the side than it is to the side back. And I am gonna commit to practicing my landing position on the side that's not my dominant side much more often next season. This is another skill that I didn't practice very much. It just feels very natural to me, just going backward to forward, especially from roller skating. And I really like doing this simple transition. This step sequence is probably the most difficult thing that I worked on this winter season. I had a lot of trouble getting this C-step down. especially from moving. And then I had trouble transitioning from like doing that step, going from the back crossover to the forward inside edge. I fell out of that multiple times. I was off center. It was really surprising that the C-step was so difficult, being that I could do it from the standstill, but the momentum just really threw me off, and I couldn't I couldn't get it. But a tutorial from Next Edge really helped. I don't know why I was almost feeling like I needed to rush it, but when I really slowed it down and realized that I needed to bend my knees more, it really opened up this step sequence for me. Also, making sure that I was really shifting my weight. But I eventually got it. I would love to get deeper into my knees with my crossovers, but I was really just mostly focused on not falling, not tripping myself, and I accomplished that. While I have a great starting point with the left side, it does need more work, but I feel like it's pretty good, and I have a great base to continue working on this step pattern. The right side is atrocious. Everything feels very just unstable and scary, and everything needs work, from the crossovers to the S-step, yeah, all of it. And I didn't really get a chance to really work on it this other side this season. As you can see, it takes space, and the rink I'm working with is a public rink, so space can be very limited to work on things that take a lot of space. But I'll be working on it for next season. At the beginning of the season, I was working on my upright spin element from an inside 3 turn. It was really difficult for me to gauge the speed that I would get from it so that I wouldn't spin out of control. And I was really not very bent in my knees trying to get that. But as the season progressed, I was able to get a little bit of a deeper bend and control the speed from it, which I was really happy about. Then the forward scratch spin started calling my name again. It was a skill that I was working on at the end of last season, so I picked it up again. I've been looking at tips this whole time, and one from Coach Jaimie Loper 12 on Instagram said to go into it with a rounded position right away, and that really helped me. Using that tip coupled with making sure that I completed the half heart of the entry made sure that I was able to do the scratch spin way more frequently than I was able to do it last season. Last season, I might have gotten 1 out of every 100 tries. And this season, I feel like it was maybe half of the time I was able to hit my scratch spin. Out of maybe 100 tries, I got maybe 50% of the time. And of course, I need to bring more attention to my arms. They tend to float upward. They need to be more in front of me and be more in sync with my legs. But it is an ongoing process, but I love spinning, so it's, happy process. This attempt from my backward entry was probably the best that I've ever done it. So we'll end the scratch spin progress on a high note. The waltz jump is another skill that I was working on last season, and it looks fine. It's very chill, very, cute little jump. But I realized that if I wanted to progress to other jumps, that I needed to really get it under control. As you see, I raised my arms a little too high in the jump, and I also was not really hitting the H position with my leg. That was the goal in practicing my waltz jump when I was able to make sure I had a good wind up, to try and not let my arms go around over my head, to hit that H position, which is really necessary for other jumps, and to hold my exit. Next season we'll work on all of that, plus adding some more height and distance in the jump. The mazurka was the bane of my existence this season. The tap scared me, and when I got over that, I kept doing a weird swishy moment with my feet, really fast scissor moment, or I was doing a fancy tap tap. As you can see, I'm not really moving, I'm almost hopping in place to actually transfer my weight on the leg that's crossed over. This one was slightly better. This attempt was probably the best that I got recorded. I'm actually shifting my weight. I just need to pay more attention to my arms in the future. The last bonus skill is the back outside pivot, which I literally only worked on this one time. But I don't think they look too bad. Towards the end of the season, I befriended a more advanced skater, and she taught me this pattern, which I believe is from the pre-bronze skating skills test. It's, just inside edges with fancy arms, and then transitioning to backward inside edges with fancy arms. And it is such, especially these backwards inside edges with these arms that just extend out. I especially loved pairing it with this extended forward crossover that I started doing this season after seeing someone on Instagram do it. It just looks so pretty together. My back does not like doing those two moves together though, I must say. That same friend who taught me how to do the pattern also asked, "Hey, do you want to learn the toe loop?" And I looked at her in fear and awe as she demonstrated it and said, "Okay." Immediately she was in the center of the ice, and I was just yeah, no, after barely attempting it. But she looked me dead in my eye and was like, "You can do it." And she left the session after that, and I continued to practice on the wall. And when I realized that the legs needed to be more crossed in back, and also that it was basically almost like a mazurka jump, it really opened up for me. I stayed on the wall for most of the session until I started using the support less and less, and then felt brave enough to venture out into the middle. This is such a first for me, and I'm so proud. Usually I have to study a skill over and over and over again by watching it online. But this is the very first one that I've learned in person and done in one session. Is that it? That was it? Kaale practice came along purely by accident. I was doing an outside 3 turn, came around with too much speed and realized, hey, if I actually used that speed and jumped, that would be a Kaale. So then I started practicing that, and the rest is history. These little jumps are truly a miracle, y'all, because I never had much intention of learning any jumps past the waltz. So I'm really proud of this toe loop. I'm really proud of this sow cow, and I can't wait to continue to make them better. All right, y'all. Another winter session on the books. It was super fun. Definitely did not tire myself out as much as I did last year, mostly because I didn't get to skate as much as I did last year. But yeah, it was fun. I learned a lot, have a lot more to learn, and I'm excited about it. Hopefully I'll be able to get to the ice rink at least sporadically during the spring and summer, but you know, we shift to roller skating at this point, and we have a rollout coming up soon, so hope to get some footage of that, bring y'all along with me for roller skating season. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.